Next up, we've got Nate Norton with Live, Laugh, Lyrical Injection, Hacking Karaoke for Fun and Profit. So, let's give a big welcome for Nate.
Hi. So I'm Nate, and before we begin, I am legally required to inform you that I am a CISSP, which will make sense in a minute. I am also legally required to inform you that this information is for research purposes only and should not be used for mischief. Wink. So, who am I? I am a security engineer. I play guitar and I sing in a rock band. I build giant puppets that light up at night, and I love karaoke. And my parents are very proud of me despite all of those things. So, somebody once told me that in order to hack something, you have to know it. So let's get to know the karaoke protocol. So first of all, who knows what karaoke is? All right, most of us. Who has been to karaoke? All right. Who has sung at karaoke? My people. All right. So for those of you who do not know, karaoke is a form of entertainment in which brave or intoxicated individuals sing along to pre-recorded instrumental versions of popular songs where the lyrics are displayed for the singer on a screen in time with the music in an attempt to mirror the original performance of the song. All right, so what is the karaoke protocol? It turns out that the authors of the karaoke protocol have neglected to submit an RFC. So we have to make a lot of inferences about what the karaoke protocol actually is. But it goes something like this. You go to karaoke. First step, you flip through a book, usually, and you pick out a song that you want to sing. And then you sign up for karaoke by putting your name on a piece of paper along with the song title and handing it to the karaoke host. At some point, they call your name, they give you a microphone, you go up and you sing the song. If you're having fun, you repeat steps 2 through 4, and nothing bad happens, and you go home and all is well. So let's take a look at some terms in order to further understand what the karaoke protocol is. The first and most important one is the karaoke session. This is where people go to sing karaoke. Then we have the karaoke host, which is the person that facilitates the karaoke session. There can be more than one host. We call this a karaoke network. Then we have the karaoke guest who participates in the karaoke session regardless of whether they are singing. We have my personal favorite, the karaoke service, which is the bar. And then some specific terms. We have DNS, which stands for do not sing, you are cut off, go home. And then perhaps the most egregious offender that threatens the health and safety of the karaoke session is the APT, or the Advanced Persistent Talker, someone who will not shut the hell up when other people are singing. The reason I'm here today is because I have discovered not one, but 2 vulnerabilities in the karaoke protocol that I would like to share with you. The first one is weak authentication, and in some cases, no authentication. The second one is a term that I have coined lyrical injection. And unfortunately, karaoke vendors have still not patched these vulnerabilities. So who knows what else is out there? I have been studying karaoke for 20 some odd years at this point. I have participated in many karaoke sessions as a guest. I have hosted a few karaoke sessions of my own. I even played bass in a live karaoke rock band for a number of years. And so for the last couple of years or so, I have been researching threats to karaoke. And I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, but I think that I have discovered the motivation for these miscreants. Can anybody guess what that might be? Fun? Fun. Close. It's lulz. So let's take a look at the first vulnerability, weak authentication. It turns out that if you go to a certain place at a certain time and you write down any name, and I mean any name on a piece of paper, and you hand it to somebody, they will give you a microphone for 5 minutes. Big mistake. This vulnerability is often exploited to escalate privileges in order to gain an audience. And when you have an audience, what could possibly go wrong? But don't just take my word for this. If you, for whatever reason, against my warning, would like to exploit this for yourselves, this is the methodology. You go to karaoke. You write down a name and a song title. You hand the karaoke host the piece of paper which initiates a reverse shell on the karaoke host. When your name is called, and they will call your name or whatever name that you wrote down, retrieve the microphone. Your privileges are automatically escalated. Congratulations. So, how do we prevent this attack from happening? How do we stop this in its tracks? What is the mitigation? I'm afraid there is none. This is just the way this system was designed. So the reason that I know that this exists in the first place is because I have personally exploited these vulnerabilities. I went to DEF CON for the first time this year. Who was at DEF CON? Awesome. So, Friday night, I stumbled into Hacker Karaoke, and I wrote down my name. I wrote down my real name, and I realized that this is poor operational security. However, I desired attribution for this attack, so I felt that it was an okay compromise. So I wrote down my real name and a song title, and I handed it to the karaoke host, initiating the reverse shell, and a couple of hours later, they called my name, and I retrieved the microphone, and my privileges were escalated. And from there, I pivoted into giving an unofficial DEF CON talk at karaoke. The subject of which was Lyrical Injection, vulnerability number 2. So what is Lyrical Injection? It is a timing-based exploit where an attacker chooses a song and replaces the words with the lyrics and the melody of another song in an attempt of denial of service to the original song. When lyrical injection is performed at karaoke, it can become viral and infect the guest, who often helplessly echo the lyrical payload. It usually results in the karaoke host shaking their damn heads. This is actually how you know that the attack has succeeded. The methodology that I am going to describe for this attack is based on the Lockheed Martin cyber kill chain. It is 7 steps that follows an attacker's path as they exploit lyrical injection. The first stage is recon. So, first step of recon is pick a target song that you would like to exploit. The more popular the song is, the more vulnerable this song is. Step 2, Pick another song and extract the lyrics and the melody. I recommend using fuzzing techniques. Pick a karaoke session to go to. Now, luckily for those of us in Portland, there is a, and I quote, venerable tiki bar with nightly karaoke, also known as the Alibi Tiki Lounge, right here in Northeast Portland. And it's right next to the Weedland Portland dispensary, so you can't miss it. Let's weaponize a payload. The first step is to replace the lyrics of the target song. And then practice this superposition. And if you are having a difficult time getting the timing of this correct, I recommend that you study the techniques of the lyrical injection researcher pioneer Neil Cicierega. He has produced no less than 4 albums in which he has superimposed the 1999 critically acclaimed hit All-Star onto other songs. Step 3, delivery. Go to karaoke. La, da, 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 da. Exploitation. Step 1, write down any name, and I mean any name, and the target song title. Step 2, hand this to the karaoke host. Reverse shell initiated. There will be no input validation. As a matter of fact, in the history of karaoke, there has never been a single instance of input validation at this step. So if you've made it this far, your attack will succeed. Congratulations. Installation. Retrieve the microphone when the name you wrote down is called. Command and control. Perform the song. Perform the modified version of the song. Move laterally around the stage. Actions on objective. Step 1. Finish the song. Step 2, walk off the stage, but please do not drop the microphone, it hurts. Step 3, do a little dance or something, and Prophet, congratulations, you've just hacked karaoke. So, how do we prevent this? How do we mitigate lyrical injection? There are 3 controls that are possible in this scenario. The first is a deterrent control, which is projecting the lyrics on a screen that is visible to both the singer and the audience. However, much like a security camera that is not turned on, this is a very weak control. Then we have the corrective control, which is turning down the microphone once the attack is detected. Unfortunately, by the time the attack is detected, it is too late, and the song will continue for as long as the attacker intends it to. The third control, which is perhaps the only effective control in this situation, is a compensating control of acceptance. Because if you can't beat them, you might as well join them. All right, so before we continue, for those of you who are not going to heed the legal notice that I put out at the beginning of this presentation, I feel that it is my due diligence to inform you of the consequences should you decide to attempt lyrical injection yourself. The absolute best case scenario, if you attempt lyrical injection, is that you get permanently banned from karaoke. The slightly worse outcome is if you experience extreme disapproval from the audience and or the karaoke host. Even worse than that is if you get extreme approval from the audience and or the karaoke host, and the absolute worst thing that can possibly happen to you if you attempt lyrical injection is that you now have a horde of followers and you are a leader of a cult. Good luck, have fun. But don't take my word for it. Let's hack some karaoke. So, At this point, I believe that we may have to mute the live stream, and so if you are watching this from afar and you do not hear anything, it is nothing to do with you. We just have to be careful with copyrights. IP, intellectual property, right? All right, so we're at Karaoke, and I have a weaponized payload that is delivered, and I am about to exploit the song John Lennon's Imagine. Right, here we go. Thank you, and once again, this is for research purposes only. We got time for a Q&A?
I was wondering if you could comment on the variant of lyrical injection that I would refer to as the Weird Al attack, and whether you'd thought about deploying that in the wild?
Oh, yes, Weird Al is, he is an inspiration for this type of attack. I would consider that the spray and pray variant of lyrical injection.
Strictly for research purposes only.
For research purposes only.
When you see the lyrical injection attack happening, would a counter brute force attack mitigate the issue?
That's a great question. You will have to try that out and let me know how it goes.
All right.
You're missing the most important part. How are you going to cover your tracks?
How am I going to cover my tracks?
You got to delete the logs.
I haven't thought about this. More research is required. Thank you.
What is the best karaoke song for this type of injection, and why is it Bohemian Rhapsody?
That question speaks for itself.
Do you have any recommendations for generating aliases for anonymization purposes?
Oh, that is a great question. What I really like is, like, you know, in the password generators, how you can generate 3 words at a time.
Yeah. Battery statements.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my preferred method.
I'm looking to create a new startup around machine learning. How could AI be used to prevent this injection?
Yes. All right. Well, I presume that there are investors here, and yes. Yes, we will get your company funded.
Have you ever tried this on a CSRF attack against another associate?
Oh, yeah, that's actually how I test out my lyrical injection attempts. So, yes. All right. I think that's it. For those who have the slides, I've linked to a couple of resources, including my experience at DEF CON, and I've linked to a couple of Neil Cicierega videos. I highly recommend that you listen to those. And then here, for those who get the slides, there is a very good source song to extract the lyrics from. Which is most definitely not Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. Thank you so much. Find me on Twitter at Nortron, that is with zeros instead of O's, because I'm one of those people, and I'm also on LinkedIn. And thank you so much, Bsides. It's been real.